here's my day 2 recommendations if you've only got 48 hours in the Disneyland Paris park. If you've not watched part 1 yet, then make sure you head onto my page, hit that follow button and see yesterday's video on day 1 on what I'd recommend if you've only got 48 hours in Disneyland Paris. To start off my day, for day 2, I'd be going to the Studios Park, which is now known as Adventure World. I'd be heading straight to Crush's Coaster to beat those big long daytime queues. I'd then be looking at some of the rides in the area as well, such as the Aladdin carpet. I'd then also make sure I get onto the virtual queue to do the hero meet and greet, such as Spider-Man or the Avengers. I'd then go exploring the whole of the Avengers campus. There's so much to do there, including Spider-Man, Flight 4, and then if you're feeling peckish, I'd get a table reservation at Pim Kitchen. This is one of my favourite buffet style restaurants. However, if you're not fancying a buffet style for lunchtime, I'd make my way over to Stark Factory and get some lovely macaroni cheese. Once you've had your lunch, I'd then be looking at doing some of the shows. Now, Studios side is brilliant for the shows. You could go and watch the Dream Factory, you've got Stitched Live, you've got the Together show. If I had to pick just one of those shows, then I'd recommend the Together Pixar show. You get to see so many characters, and honestly, I even have a few tears in my eyes at the end of it because it's so beautiful. Once you've done your show, I'd then make my way over to the Toy Story Land. There you can do Slinky Dog, your parachute drop, and if you're fancying a meet and greet, then you could go and see Jessie or Woody, which is over in the corner of the Pixar Land. And you don't need a virtual queue booking for this one, you just turn up and join the queue. Once you've done exploring Toy Story Land, I'd make my way over to my favourite part of the park, which is the Ratatouille, where you could go into the shops and you can do the Ratatouille ride. I'd then make my way over to Cars Road Trip, and if the queue is under 10 minutes, then I'd be riding that one. And by this time, you're looking at about 4-5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd be finishing any rides that you've not yet been on, and I'd be making my way back over to the main Disneyland Paris park to either catch the parade or finish off any rides that I've not yet been able to do. I'd then be having my dinner and then planning any last few minute rides that I want to get in before we go home. And then if you wanted to watch the fireworks again, you've got that option, or you could get an early night if you're traveling back home early the next day. Hopefully this will help you if you've only got 48 hours in the park. You really want to maximize your time as much as you can, so even though you don't have to plan a full itinerary, you want to know a rough idea of what rides and what attractions you'd like to see whilst you're there, and try and get a good balance of character interactions, rides and meets and greets. Remember, you don't need reservations for any of the shows or for the fireworks, so if you're going on a 48-hour trip, make sure you save and like this video. If you've got any questions or any recommendations that you want, then make sure you pop a comment in this video and I'll try and answer as many of them as I possibly can.